Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Sayla and in today's video I am going to be talking about why after 2 years I am transitioning from this style of palette with the fixed wells to this other one which has the space for the removable pans, and I'm going to be filling it up with professional watercolors and I'm going to talk you through the process. So if that interests you, let's get to it. This palette has my Codman watercolor paints, which are student grade, and I've been using, like I said, for a couple of years now. And I don't know if it's because after a while this happens or what, I can't really remember. But basically, if I want to activate these paints, I have to put water a good couple of minutes before, and even after I've done so, I can never really get a thick consistency. So I'm finding quite hard to get that more, not opaque, but just thicker consistency of the watercolor that you can actually achieve. And also they're kind of crumbling a little bit. So when I pick up the pigment from the palette, there's just loads of little bits, and I don't think it's down to them being granulating or anything like that. I don't know if this is something that happens over time or if it's just what happens with the student grade paints. But yeah, I'm not liking it too much. And because I'm painting a lot more now, I'm finding it really annoying. And I wanted to really use them up so that I don't like wasting. I even thought about maybe painting before I go to work. So I don't know, maybe I'll have this and a couple of brushes and a sketchbook somewhere else in the flat. But yeah, this is how it looks like. So one of the other reasons why I want to change the palette, it's because now that the paints are in, I can't really take them out until they're obviously used up. I thought about maybe trying to scoop them out somehow, but I don't know, it just feels a lot of work. And another thing that I don't like about this palette is that I can't change the colors around as I please. When with this other watercolor palette that I have, I can definitely do that. So this is the palette, which by the way is really cute, this color. They had it in black as well, but no, teal is good. So when you open it up, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mixing spaces there, and then this other side, which it kind of floats, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that, because I feel like if I'm just grabbing my paint from it, it might just be bouncing back at me, but I don't know. A lot of people have these palettes, and I think if they have it, it must be for a reason, right? So I'll just give it a go. The one thing that obviously made me want to buy this palette in particular was this section here. This one comes out, not all of them came out, but I really like that this part comes out. I don't know why. I think if I don't have as much space, I could just always take this out, and then I don't know, it takes less space for whatever reason. So this was empty. I put some pans in just to see how it looks, and I want to figure out which colors and what size of pans, so I've just been playing a little bit with that. But these pans come out, and then they get filled up and slot back in. Like I was saying, if I want to change the colors, then I can just remove the pan and then put a new one in. I bought a few, and I've got these ones here that can go in the middle if I want. I don't actually know how many colors I have in total, but I'm just going to try and figure out exactly how to design the palette, but I don't have to worry too much about it, because if I don't like it, I just change it around. But the one thing I do want to make sure I get right is the size of the pans. I basically want to use bigger pans for the colors that I'm going to use the most, and then the smaller ones for the colors that I'm not going to use as much. But also another reason to use these bigger pans is because I think it's easier for the brush. If I want to make a slightly larger wash, this is bigger just to fit a bigger brush, whereas this is kind of small. So yep. So I'm gonna try and work out which colors go where. This is my selection of colors here. So I have a mixture of Daniel Smith, Sennelier, and some Cass Art, and then Jackman's. I've only used the Daniel Smith ones. I have the Daniel Smith ones on my art toolkit palette for plein air painting and just any going out and about for painting, which is also has pans, which these are really tiny. So I've had these paints for I don't know how long actually, a few months. This is quite messy, and I really like the how the paints reactivate. But the one thing I didn't realize when I bought this Daniel Smith is that they come from the US. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know it's quite far away. I live in the UK, and there are so many other paints here in Europe that you know to have to buy them from another side of the world doesn't seem right to me. So Sennelier is a French brand, and then Jackman's is a brand that I only heard recently from another YouTuber, Sarah Burns. She was talking about as well about having paints that are locally sourced or locally at least within Europe, and she mentioned about this brand. They're really good price. They're great as professional watercolors. But at this point, when I realized about the existence of this brand, I had already bought quite a few ones of Sennelier. So obviously, Sennelier is from France, so it's not that far away. I think as long as it's within the same continent, that's kind of okay. I obviously we have in the UK we have De La Rowney and Winsor and Newton. The Winsor and Newton ones are I find them quite expensive, and so the Sennelier ones were slightly better. And they do have also some whitewash. These are some granulating colors that I really like, and I'm going to put in the palette as well. So I'm just going to try and work out exactly how I'm going to set up the order and which colors go where, and yeah, let's get to that. Okay, so I think I have worked out which colors are going to go in which size of pans, and I have started to write down the names. This one's quite obvious. I don't think I would ever have any doubts, but I do think once they go in the pans, I don't know, if I run out of a tube and I end up throwing it, which is obviously what I'm going to do, then I might not remember what it is that I had there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just write all the names and the brand, and then they'll be able to find them if I chalk the tubes out. Okay, I feel like suddenly I'm not suddenly really, I'm a lot more relaxed because I am doing the thing that I do like to do, which is just play with my colors. And ultramarine. But I was recording the intro, and oh dear, I did so many takes. Uh, I'm not a natural with a camera. I'm just not. But this part, oh yes. So I've got all the names written down. I'm quite surprised that they don't look bad. I've written it down with a permanent marker, so hopefully they'll stay put. But I do think if I wanted to change if I used up the whole thing and I wanted to change to a different color, I could just use some alcohol wipes or something and just erase it. So I have some water here, because I'm going to start filling up the pans. So I have my color sharper. I think this is to help blend colors in other types of mediums. I bought it to apply some masking fluid. I was recommended this in the shop. But I have also used it to help with the paint distribution within the pans. And I've got some hairs for my cat. Sorry. I've got some water here that I will use to clean from colour to colour. So let's get on with it. Whitewash. I think if you don't have this color sharper chisel, angled chisel, you could just use, I don't know, what could you use? A spoon, the end of a teaspoon maybe? Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. Okay, so that's it. I fill up all the pans. I got quite messy, but I've cleaned my hands. And I think the natural thing to do once you pour the paint into the pans is to leave them to dry and then put them in. But I was too impatient, I could not wait, and I wanted to see how they looked inside. And so I just did it. And then I got my hands messy again. I messed up the burnt sienna, not too badly, but I'm quite happy with the look of this palette. So I'm just going to run through the colors quickly. So this is Whitewash from Winsor & Newton. This is Buff Titanium from Jackman's. This is Hansa Yellow Light from Daniel Smith, which I don't have a lot of. New Gamboge, Daniel Smith, Burnt Sienna from Sennelier, Sepia from Sennelier, Olive Green Sennelier, Viridian Green from Jackman's. These are the Deep Sea Green from Cast Art, granulating colors, Lunar Blue from Cast Art, also granulating, as well as this one. This is Sage Green granulating from Cast Art. This one is a Cerulean Blue from Jackman's, which is just absolutely stunning. It's like a teal color. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is stunning. French Ultramarine from Daniel Smith, Phthalo Blue from Daniel Smith, Indigo from Sennelier. This is Nebula from Cast Art. It's purple, basically, but it's granulating. I don't think I use purple a lot, so that's why I went into a smaller pan for this. Then I have Quinacridone Rose from Daniel Smith and Pyrrole Scarlet from Daniel Smith. And that is it. I think it looks very pretty. I'm going to let it dry overnight and then I'll swatch them. And I think I will also make a card for the palette. But that is it. I absolutely love these colors. I cannot wait to try them. I hope you enjoy the video and see you in the next one when I will swatch them.